What up, guys? Welcome to the Base Damage Podcast. And this week, Happy New Year, first off, for the first podcast of 2018. Me, as always, Kool-Aid, and we have Enrique. This is your first time on, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I've just been probably like masturbating a hentai or something when I should have been on this.
More than likely, but I don't know. I'm just kidding. And we have Waifu Wars, Bentley. What's up, bro?
Hi, my name is Beanley, and my new last name is McNeil. I'm
God.
being a waifu, so...
Jesus Christ.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was. I just didn't know. I just didn't know what form it would take in that. So, I half expected you just do the Christian mingle thing again, but that's whatever. And what was it? Was it you? A while back, you were like, "I'm on Christian Mingle," and Cam's like, "Yeah, I'm on BlackPeopleMeet.com" or something like that. I was like, "What the fuck?" No, that was great. But yeah, guys, thank y'all for being on today. For first one of the new year, also, like I said, so that's going to be really interesting. And one of the biggest topics we wanted to kind of discuss today, because it's just around the corner, it's only a couple weeks, is Worlds is like the next big thing happening for Weiss, as far as I know it, unless all of a sudden we get Monogatari season 2 and the internet itself dies in English, as far as but yeah, because our very own Bentley is going to be going to Worlds. How hyped are you, dude?
Pretty hyped. I'm more hyped that I've always wanted to go to Japan, and
Same.
The location I'm staying in is within it's near Akihabara too, so it'll be easier to get souvenirs for people and stuff.
Absolutely, dude. I've been wanting to go there for ever myself, so I'm glad you have this opportunity. So
You're welcome. Let me tell you now, the night before, this guy was like, you know what, maybe I'll play Contai at the regionals. And I was like, Beanley, you just built Tulova, what are you doing? This is what you've been trying to do this whole time. And they're like, no, I think I'll play Contai. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll play Contai tomorrow. You don't have another deck to play, you're playing Tulova. And then he ended up winning that regionals, and I was like, man, I actually could have just played this Tulova and won it myself. It's like, shit.
It's like the one time it bites you in the ass type thing.
Yeah. Oh well, this shit happens.
There's
always next year.
This is true. Not for Springfest, but for Fall Fest, because they're changing up for the team thing, which they're going to do different prizes for that. But either way, we should got a couple interesting ideas for talking about that as well. But so what team are we establishing, or how many teams are we establishing through the podcast groups is the question. So I don't know.
Well, we have Team Beanley on one team, because
exactly.
I don't know who our third is going to be, but it's called Team O Over, and our plan is to get absolutely wasted the night before, and then the next morning I'll probably pregame it still, and then we'll be extremely hungover, so we'll just name the team Hang O Over.
Hang O Over.
I'll of course be playing CG.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, he's making the reference to the song off.
I'm 100% playing it.
Was that Miku and Rina?
What?
The two girls that combo with Over Climax.
Yeah.
Because I actually tried running that for a while.
Lost it with it today.
Yeah.
Fucking really sacky ass motherfucker.
So sad. It's all
right.
good. I don't want to try to get you too nervous, Bentley. I know we're like, dude, you got this. Good luck and everything, but I do not want to try to get you over eager and overly nervous for this, because you gotta keep calm and focused when you're playing for something that big. I realize. So
no.
Even if I lose, it doesn't matter. It's just nice to go in general.
No. You just either first place or nothing. You're gonna be banned from the community if you don't come back with a win.
I was gonna say I want to be the first gay winner, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's already been established.
Didn't you UA win last year? So that's already established.
I was about to say some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, because every Worlds winner I've ever known for Yu-Gi-Oh has come out of the closet at some point. Adam Korn, I'm just saying, all the different Yu-Gi-Oh people.
I know what you mean.
I know, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if that Asian from last year turns out to be gay.
No, one, nothing against gay people, but that is a joke that was thrown around in the Yu-Gi-Oh community around my locals and whatnot for a while. One of the guys is like, dude, I don't want to win Worlds. That means I'm coming out of the closet at some point. I'm just like, the fuck, dude? What the hell?
That's true, man.
It's scary. It's nah, but anyway. But yeah, no, that's going to be interesting. So we're not allowed to say what he's running just yet. He's told us, but I'm not going to say what he's running just yet. We're going to keep it a surprise. Spicy.
It's Milky Holmes.
Milky Holmes Demo Deck.
No, that was one of the things you said. Is that legal? Is the fucking demo deck legal for like regional, even regional play?
Yeah, but
Like,
to be honest, I cannot know that. It's never crossed
It's
my
either
mind.
going to be Milky Holmes or it's going to be Haruhi.
Steve, you're like asking to get like last or second to last place.
you ain't got the swing, bruh. The swing event is not here. You can't
The
do
swing
this.
event doesn't do anything. It maybe makes you win one round.
I know, right? I don't know.
But I got that endless night shit, right?
Oh god, fuck that shit. No, we are not dealing with endless. I hated that like portion of the anime. I refuse to play against anybody that has that set up in their deck. Fuck that. No. Anyway. Oh god. But that was I figured like be the main topic of tonight, unless anything else comes up for discussions or whatever. Our expectations for Worlds. What you think you're gonna see there, all that jazz. Like we were listing off a couple different sets that are more than likely going to be in there. Obviously, with the recent movie pack, SAO is going to be a top contender. AOT, like just so big. Like me and Billy were talking about prices for AOT earlier. We were looking at stuff. It's just like, why the hell is this shit going up?
Yeah.
Fucking, is the level 1 Aaron had gone up or something of that nature. One of the ones I know you had mentioned, Enrique, Bang Dream. I noticed that has been played like real heavily. Like even when I was just in Atlanta, that was still something that was played a lot. So,
yeah, I mean, it's just something that like I feel like it has enough contention in English for now, at least, to where it can still play. I don't know how it'll like match up now because like SAO's level 0 game is absurd now.
This is true too.
But I mean, it's an overall good deck. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad or anything. I mean, obviously it gets a lot better with that too, but it's still. I mean, it's English, so anything can just sack its way either up into top. I mean, last year didn't we have like an AOT tech that like top that made first or second that literally didn't play a climax combo or something?
I've seen a lot of decks before that like only run one climax combo, and then like I've seen that happen in AOT where they just happen to splash in like the salvage triggers or something of that nature.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Or hell, even with like you said with Bang Dream, half the time if they put in the standby triggers, they don't have the climax combo for that. But as far as 0 climax combos, I don't remember that. Like,
I thought there was one for JP. I think is what it was.
Oh, for JP. Oh, okay.
I think they did that. I don't know. I can't remember. And I don't feel like looking up the deck list. It's probably somewhere in the abyss of like Weiss Schwarz foreign. That's
a whole separate abyss. We don't. That's like
no.
But no.
It's
I mean, like
deeper than Made in the Abyss.
Well, actually, you may have a point in it not be AOT. I know this was like probably 2016, not last year. So either way, the Disgaea trial deck I know was one of the things that it topped before we got like all the extra Disgaea stuff in English.
There was like 2 nationals where it did really, really, really good back when we had nationals for English. Yeah. I don't know if did it win it. I think it won 2 years in a row or something.
I think it got up there. If nothing else, it got up there.
I don't remember. I can't. I have horrible memory of stuff like that. But
yeah, and I don't think that had a climax combo. So
it was something like that, and it was just sack. And I mean, like.
I think another thing to see at Worlds still is like Miku, because like Soundless Voice is still like pretty good.
That was one of the things you mentioned.
There's another thing we're going to look out for. I don't think SAO has any problem with literally anything, which is why I think SAO is probably like the biggest contender, just because I mean it kind of does its own thing and doesn't really care about what anybody else does.
Yeah, this is fair.
Obviously, every other deck has to play it differently.
Yeah,
and especially now that like SAO's level 0 game is retarded.
It very.
I mean, thank God they never got an Oz's or like an actual Ricky. So, fuck.
No,
that'd be insane.
As far as Soundless Voice, obviously I know the actual Soundless Voice combo, but that comes out at level 1. What kind of finishers do they have for Project Diva? Like as far as
that's something
English?
I've seen like people just on preference. I've seen everybody try different stuff. I've seen majority of people I've seen play is trying to play the clock shooter one, the one that has like that really that hard to find climax combo. Like it's incredibly hard to find all of the triple R's and stuff like that for it.
Yeah. Soundless Voice is difficult enough to find.
Factory, that's what it was. The clock shooter.
Okay.
I know a lot of people played that, and then like I've seen people try like the what's her name? I forget the red-haired girl's name. Luca? It was Luca. It was Luca. I've seen a lot of people try that, and I've seen the top. So like it's just, I guess that one just really goes down to the player's preference and see what they like feel most comfortable with and how it plays against the format.
Like the thing with like Silence Voice, like if you get it off, and it's fucking like great as well, and then like how people say like, oh, like you like rarely get off, but like every time I play against like a Soundless Voice player, though, it seems like they get it off consistently.
Stacking?
Oh yeah.
No. Like if they had something to get it back with like Pants Trigger or something of that nature, but they don't have that as far as what I've seen finisher wise.
Oh, they have a Pants Trigger in it.
They do?
Yeah, for Silence Voice.
Like for a finisher, like what? Like, is it something relevant?
Oh, for finishers, there's the clock. There's like the one that Enrique had mentioned, like the climax combo, and there's there's a no condition where you just ditch a card, but it's like weak. It's only like 10k pacers.
Yeah, no, I mean like how. Oh my god, what was it? Like how. Switch combo, their climax combo that they do for that is a Pant Trigger. It's not like something they could just have the Pant Trigger goes off. Oh look, I'm redoing Soundless Voice next turn type thing. It's nothing of that nature I've really ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Plus, as far as like the whole clock shooter thing as well, it looks like that's something people are trying to not avoid, but obviously because of AOT with just all their movement gear shenanigans and bouncing shit back of just denying you on reverse advantage, people just tending to stray away from that.
Some of the Soundless Voice builds I've seen also run like the on play. I think it's Lan or whatever. Like one of the twins, like the on play gets cancel burn as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did see that too. We've had somebody in our locals try that, didn't we?
Yeah, and that doesn't require a climax or anything, so that's flashable.
Okay.
And it's like it's not color since Soundless Voice is also yellow.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Okay.
I feel like Miku's just this is like one of those decks that just has to like take advantage of the situation it's in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like
really if you can't just do the same linear stuff like SAO does and always do what you want to do.
Yeah,
that deck really that deck has to just be able to like you have to have a player that can adapt to the situation and play the deck into a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, we know we're not getting P5 for Worlds.
Thank God, I didn't want to see that trash there.
Looking cool, Joker. No.
That deck is just not going to do anything in English. I don't think so. Not in English. JP, yes. But in English, I don't see it doing anything anyways.
People are still going to buy it, though. That's the thing.
Oh, for sure. It's just like another one of those like cash cows for
exactly. Like, yeah. It's like I also was stating for like if we were to get like Gurren Lagann in English, it doesn't matter if it ends up not being good. People will fucking buy it. Like, just straight up.
It's another one of cash cows they can easily do. I mean, I think that's what they should just keep doing for now. I mean, catch us up with what we want, like CG2, MG2, and then just like start giving us like easy stuff to like.
That's another thing. Like, English, like at this point, I think we're good enough where CG2 or Onigami's second season won't break the format. If anything, it'll help the format because it'll add more diversity.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's time for those two decks to like make their way in. Obviously, with those two decks coming in, it'll obviously be the best. I don't think there's a question about that. POS Rin is too good, and like like the hard counter, not the hard counter, but like the best counter to that deck. I don't even think like SAO and like AOT could counter those two, but like I think AOT and SAO would still be able to like contend with CG2 in the middle, and like obviously those two are going to be like the top just because of how they play. But it would also like introduce like new decks into the format, and obviously I feel like it'd be like a lot less SAO and AOT players, so you could see a lot of other random decks make their way in.
Yeah, like you could see Project Crone deck too as well. That like be interesting.
That deck's low key the kind of the nuts. I've done it multiple times. I've gone.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I've heard it's supposed to be
I built it before, and I've gone undefeated for. I went undefeated for some ridiculous amount of time. For like I don't even know how I did it. Like half the games I should have won, I probably didn't even win. Like I don't even know how I did it.
I'm about to look into this.
Fumika, if you take advantage of the timing, Fumika is probably the most nastiest card you can ever do. I've legit stuck
like 15 cards back into their deck.
I stuck 15 cards back, and I legit stuck 18 damage in one turn. I was like,
Jesus Christ.
Wow. So yeah, that's something that you just kind of have to look out for. Not 18, 16. But there's just one. I've had an opponent like Free Fresh, not Free Fresh. What was it? Refresh. And they forcibly did that with their Azula, but they only had a couple climaxes left. Not refresh. I'm an idiot. They left themselves with one card left in deck because they wanted to try and compress as much as they could. And then I just triple Fumi could, flopped 15 cards back, and I just swung for 16.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that can happen.
It's like, hey,
I mean,
know
I'm not
this-
saying like it's gonna be like the meta, but like it's a card. It's the deck that could, you know, something like Abyssals, like it could just spontaneously top one day.
Oh, that's true because, like you said, we're still going to see like Contai probably. So Abyssals or even like the normal builds.
I don't think Abyssals will be as relevant. I mean, you never know, but
True.
I feel like regular Contai, of course, should still be in their format.
Mhm.
I think in the top four are going to be Contai, Tuloveru, SAO, and AOT. Then probably like some Sunshine players and some Bank Dream players.
Billy, I know you were
Stuff
saying
like
about Konosuba as well. Like, which you brought up another interesting point for that was you were talking to one of your distributors and they apparently did not print but so many like much of Konosuba.
We're at our locals today, and one of the store owner said that he went to a distributor meeting, and he said that he met one of the Weiss directors or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he asked them straight up, like, "Are we going to get any more Konosuba boxes like printed up?" Because people are still like asking for it, and like it's completely out of stock. And they were like, "No, we only printed 200 cases."
The fuck?
So I don't know if they're gonna do it again, but they said they only printed 200 cases, and if you're looking at 200 cases,
yeah, that's not
a lot.
And even if they do reprint it again, it's gonna be like a long while before they do it, because they just recently reprinted like Madoka and like whatever, like a while back, and that's Madoka's an old ass set.
Yeah,
like Madoka like came out.
If you're looking at it, like how many SPs come in a box in a case? There are like what 3 SPs in the entire set.
Something like that. I think
except
it's
for not including the trial deck one, not including the trial deck.
Yeah, the 3 girls.
Yeah,
you get 2 per case, I think.
Something like that.
So that means there's only like about 400 or a little bit over 400 SPs in the entire market
for Konosuba at all. See, that's interesting because a while back, one of the other guys at our locals pulled the really expensive Megamine, the really expensive level 3 Megamine, and I went to post it online to sell, and there were no other postings of it. And I'm like, is this just selling this quick or what? So
it's just the fact that there's inventory. I mean, obviously I think there was plenty of it in the store. I mean, in like demand or whatever you call it.
There's a huge
but I think now it's just like incredibly hard to find now because most of the people that found it already have their stuff. Yeah. And they're probably not selling it, or it's too hard to find.
Yeah, that's why I like collecting English SPs a bit more, because like it has like a certain like exoticness to it.
Yeah.
Like, look, you don't find this anymore.
That's just one of those weird, like surprising things I found. Like we heard today, like it was like the only 200 cases. Like I'm not really sure how they spread 200 cases, but if you're thinking about it, that doesn't seem a lot for the whole world.
Yeah, still like
like that's very minimal for like the whole world to get only 200 cases. That's like, literally nothing.
That's So
I mean, I don't know how it goes, but like
that may have also been out of that particular distribution center, because I'm fairly certain there's more than one center.
Maybe, but like he said he was talking to the director of like Weiss, not like Weiss, but Bushiroad.
Oh, damn.
And that's the guy that like, created Dragonborn. He was talking like the guy he was talking to. So I mean, the guy was up there. Not like maybe not like the top, but like he was somewhere up there. That to know how much was like sent out. So
damn,
I don't know. It's just one of those things that caught us kind of off guard today.
That's weird. That's just so weird to me. Like,
it is. I completely agree. I feel like there should be like way more than that, but I guess it works. I mean, I guess now they should probably be shipping out about 400 cases instead, because like Konosuba is that much in demand. I mean, not every set. I mean, obviously, like some sets won't be as popular, but like P5.
Yeah,
that's one of those sets like they should be pumping out like cases for that.
They better.
That's an easy cash cow for
absolutely.
Bushiroad.
They could probably they could print probably as many cases as they want and probably guarantee that every single one of them will sell.
Eventually, yes.
But like it still, like I don't know. Maybe they just didn't expect Konosuba to do that well. But
maybe. I mean, that was like another one of those things that like I heard like Bushiroad when they were like. I heard there was a meeting from a friend of mine that was and he said that the reason Konosuba even came to English was because of the fact that they were having a meeting and somebody legit asked when are we getting Konosuba, and it says, oh, we don't think anybody wants it. So like they said okay, do like a vote right now, and like everybody in the room said they wanted it, so they ended up making Konosuba in English in the first place. That was like another thing that hurt.
These people do not watch anime.
I feel like not even that. I feel like Bushiroad literally does not even care about its community at all.
That this has been understood for a while, but
the
degree at which which they don't care, it just seems to keep elevating for me at this point. It's just like, God bless. Come on.
I mean, this is kind of one of the reasons I just don't care about English that much. I mean, when the time comes around for like an event to come around, I'll obviously try, at least my best. But most of the majority of the time, I can really care less. I'd rather much more focus on WGPs and try and go to Nats or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like repeat this again, but like, I feel like they really need like they need to hire someone to be like a community like manager, just like community somebody
that could that could actually get into the community and work with the community.
Yeah.
What to expect.
Yeah.
Like I could care less. Like if it was even like somebody like trashy like Pesh Cats or something like that. Like if they actually hired him to be a community worker, yeah, that's fine. I'd rather have somebody that's in the community and like at least can talk to the players and know what they want.
Absolutely.
Than like not having some random like old Asian dude like trying to figure it out and like some random like
it's a generational thing at that point too. So it's like, oh, we think they might like this, but if they don't actually have someone who is, like you said, part of the community or knows what the fuck is going on for our generations of people, what we like, what we are used to seeing and whatnot like that, as far as between anime, any card game at that point, they don't need an old person doing it. I'm sorry.
That's true. I mean, I feel like it's just something you have to get like people that are more like and more intertwined with the community, because like this goes for any business anyways. Like if you have an anime store like right by us that literally only buys like Gundams and Sailor Moon stuff, and like that's not what we want. We want like all the newer stuff. You see how many great figures there are that are like out of all the new anime, and they don't get any of that. They only get like old stuff, and it's like it kind of sucks for like that stuff like that.
Like, I admit some of the older stuff like that. I'm a big Gundam fan myself. As far as in that regard, I realize I'm straying away from card games at this point, but it's still relevant to the topic of I'm a Gundam fan, sure. I don't know a whole lot of the older Gundam series. I know of them, but I probably haven't watched a lot of them. So I would still be interested in certain stuff like that, but no, I'm like you. I want a lot of the newer stuff. Hell, give me like Zoids.
I feel like a lot of the times they're missing the marks on like picking up the newest stuff. Like if they focus right now on like getting like whatever the licensing they would need, or maybe if they already have it, like try and like get some of the stuff that just recently came out in the last season.
Yeah,
like they could get a lot of good anime out of the last season. I mean they do it. I mean, you look at Chaos and they get a lot of the new anime that just came out. I mean, they're getting all of the new stuff. But like Bushiroad is like always like maybe one of the shows out of that season comes out if we're lucky. If not, we're getting something older, like SAO, like something from like last year or whatever.
That's like when I saw.
That's the problem with it.
That's like when I saw Tanya the Evil got a Chaos set. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, that was one of the ones I was like, why can't we get that? I would invest heavily into Tanya.
I fucking love Tanya. They just don't understand the Western audience, I guess, at that point. I mean, I don't know. I'm just making assumptions at that point, but either way, they need someone who understands the Western audience. So
I think they just thought they have this general like assumption that like Western audience like is only into like fucking AOT and SAL. Like anything.
That's the problem. Nobody actually wants to get into the Western audience. And they're like, I mean, I can understand as like a Japanese person looking at the Western anime community, okay, that's pretty cancerous. And I'm gonna admit, the Western anime community is probably one of the worst and most shittiest things out there. Other than like the Philippines is obviously the worst. We need like Hiroshima them, but like us, we're pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. We have some pretty shit taste. Like a lot of our people have pretty shit taste. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I had a pretty shit taste, but like, they need to get in with the community and like at least observe, like see what or like maybe do some sort of licensing work with Crunchyroll and see what like the actual numbers are that are like coming out.
Funimation or some shit.
Then we wouldn't get the sets until way later. Then we wouldn't get the sets until like way later. Like Netflix holds on to everything. I'd rather have like them
actually try and like put the work into like knowing what they want to have instead of just
agreed.
I guess this fits in our licensing. Let's just pick this up.
Everything would be figured out if we got an exclusive English set like AI-chan.
There would be way too many memes off of that.
100% a climax that says "fuck you."
Or even Umaru, you got a set for that.
Umaru is another one of those shows that I
think they got to do with Nintendo. I don't think they're
expected to come to like a card game, but I never saw any card game pick it up. It was like that's such like an easy cash cow for anybody. 'Cause
Yeah,
even
for
in the
us.
Western audience, that is extremely huge. In Japan, I know that's huge because I've seen their numbers of sales. They sell out on all their merchandise.
Yeah, they could easily do that. Like that Zelda. Like if we're getting into Nintendo stuff, Zelda. Anyway,
I mean, that's just a whole different thing because of their whole licensing. They would obviously have to get a Nintendo license, and that's a whole fucking ass on it. You've seen YouTube videos how that goes down.
Oh
so
yeah.
I don't even want to think about that. So
Yeah.
for now, let's just leave out Nintendo. I don't think I really want to. We probably won't ever see that.
So
for
is
now.
Bushiroad the EA of card games?
Essentially, because they take a million years to respond to you.
You're not wrong.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that. I'm getting a little too off track. I'm gonna grab another drink.
You're fine, dude. While you're doing that, one of the other things I noticed because I was bringing this up with you earlier, Bentley, the number of people that are going to Worlds is, I don't know how many people are going, because if you look at the English Weiss site that has the listed of who got first, second, third, you're only seeing only the first place people are going, right?
Mm-hmm.
To Worlds. There's only 13 from Springfest. That's been out for a bit. If we're forgetting anybody from Fall Fest, it's still only about 12 or 13 people, which is only going to mean 26 people for English Worlds.
I'm
people?
pretty sure there's some other numbers that we don't know, or I mean, and maybe we just missed it. I don't know.
I don't know. Like I figured for Fall Fest, maybe they hadn't got all the stuff up there just yet. But going back to Springfest, I'm like, you would think they'd have all that up by now.
Honestly, though, if it's like that, that'd be easier because then the tournament would be so much faster and be more
Here's
time
hoping.
to Japan.
Here's
yeah,
hoping.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Sure, they still got to go through, because at the same time they're going to be doing JP Worlds, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to take care of Buddy Fight,
and then
all that.
they normally the Weiss tournament's gonna be on the last day of the tournament, right?
More than
it's
likely.
Okay, so then there's gonna be obviously that, so they have to be able to run it within a day. They also have to be able to run and finish Vanguard and all the other games that they're gonna have, and be able to stream all of them. Because remember, they do stream the final tournament. I think they stream the semifinals up, but I'm not really sure exactly. I remember only watching the semifinals and the finals last year. But
this is true.
They still have to stream all the games on the last day somehow. So for they have to fulfill all this. So I mean, I can see short amount of players.
I hope they only stream the semifinals or the finals, because if I do make it to the finals, everyone can see my special autistic shuffling.
Oh my god, they're gonna call you a cheater. They'll be like, no, Beanie's a cheater. Like, no, guys, he is not a cheater. Trust me. You know what? Maybe he is.
Is it that bad? What?
You have to see it to it's one of those things you have to see to believe, because it's just that awkward to look at. Because when you, in his eyes, it's probably normal shuffling, but to us, when we see him shuffling, this man is clearly stacking.
That's
it looks that bad, but I don't know. I always make sure to actual shuffle his deck. Yeah. So
I still cancel.
Somehow, I don't know. I'll legit he'll cancel, he'll trigger a climax, and then he'll refresh. I'll cut his deck. He'll refresh a climax, and then still proceed to cancel all my damage. I'm like,
look, some JoJo shit there. I knew you were going to shuffle this particular way.
You thought it was damage, but it was me, climax.
Exactly.
Essentially, that's what it's like playing against Beanley. He just does it. If you didn't see the finals, if you weren't there to see the finals of the Jacksonville Regionals, this man was 100% dead, and
yes.
The Umi waifu player was at level 1, but he somehow stayed at level 3 the entire time, brought him back, proceeded to triple cancel him 2 times in a row, and then use his Darkness plan to win the game. I was like, sure.
No, he told me about that when we had him on the interview for immediately afterwards. As far as on the podcast for that one, he told me all about that, and I'm just sitting here going, "Oh my fucking god!"
There's no way you can believe somebody can cancel this, but this is the only guy that I know that can do this consistently.
If you just do that again, in the finals, you're good.
I put my money on Beanley. This man canceled I've never seen anybody else cancel my entire life.
Today I canceled a lot.
You canceled a lot, okay? The only deck you didn't cancel a lot against was my Vivid Strike, and then I canceled more than you against that deck. But every other deck you canceled like a madman.
God, yeah. How do you level?
I know, right?
Just kidding, no. Oh god, he's. Oh damn. So now we have to discuss your rigorous training regimen for for leading up to Worlds. He's like, yes, I shuffle 5. My fapping arm is my drawing arm. No. It's like, little do you know, I'm ambidextrous. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I should be practicing more, but like I'm trying to though. Just our community's been kind of dead. So we have
it's been weird. Our community's gone down a lot. So I feel like it's just gonna be me and our friend helping Bailey test as much as we can in like the next week or two.
Mm-hmm. Hell, I know the guy that runs our locals is probably like, damn, the Weiss community is dead because of the Christmas and New Year's and all that. He's we've not been able to go up there. I haven't been able to go up there, and a lot of people have been busy with work and whatnot. So he's probably like just gonna get sideswiped by all the Weiss players one Sunday and just be like, holy shit, where the hell were y'all at? So, oh my god. All right. Also, there's a note up here about Nizukoi at Worlds. Kidding.
No, that was a meme. That was a meme.
It was a meme.
That was a meme.
Oh my god. Anyway, so yeah, go ahead. I thought you had something.
No, I completely am losing myself now that I've been drinking a bit.
Nah, you're fine, dude. What other Bentley? What other concerns do you have as far as going into this? I know we speculated about what decks. I can't go too far into that because I don't want it to give away what you're running. Because if I tried to say what decks do you fear the most, that might give it away. Shit.
Clearly, Go Chuisa and ReZero.
I don't know. English. No.
I mean, you could also see Excel World. You never know.
That's one
Excel
of the
World's
things.
another deck that could be in Worlds.
Like that's one of the things that got.
Drinking game is good.
Was that?
I think one thing that like I'm afraid of that I really need to like sharpen up is like actual like understanding like how like detailed or like precise like rulings can be for like because I think there'll be like judges around, but then like I feel like when I do like one misplay or something, then it might like cost me an entire game, so I have to like be like really careful. I mean, you can always ask the judge.
You definitely have to like. I think you definitely will have to pay attention to all the game like mechanics and like all the like little tiny rules that you don't like normally think of.
Yeah, because then like if you ask the judge,
don't forget to like obviously draw before stand your characters before you draw.
Yeah.
Don't do that because I see you do that all the time.
Or don't put your climax, but when it's doing the trigger, don't put the climax in the stock before you complete the trigger effect. Apparently that gets you disqualified or something. I don't know. That's something I had a while back as an issue. Anyway, I can understand that as far as like the making certain that you're like, okay, this is in the finals or semifinals or whatever, and all of a sudden it comes down to one little thing like, oh, I forgot to do this certain way. And, you get called out on it. Because I think you also were saying, like, if you try to call the judge too many times, they eventually write you down for rule sharking or something of that nature?
I mean, if it's actual rulings, I don't know.
I mean,
just in the late game. Because it goes into time. Because Weiss is only, like, each round's, like, only, like, 35 minutes. And since it's going to be, like, in the Worlds, like, the...
Is it the same time?
No, like, the,
Because I think we had, like 40 minutes.
When you keep on asking... Yeah, if you keep on asking the judges, and that takes into time, like how many, like into the round. But I was gonna, I think I was gonna say, I forgot what I was gonna say now.
It's good. Have you been drinking too? I'm just kidding. No, you're fine.
Billy, you gotta work tomorrow.
I know. It's like he's like I can. He's like, I can only stay up so late because I got work tomorrow. And then immediately just like, yeah, I'm just going to go fap after this. I'm just kidding. No.
I'm doing that right now. I'm kidding. I don't know. This is going to be definitely... I feel like we can all call it. It's either be AOT or shorter, but it can go like up either way, anywhere in between.
Yeah, because it's English.
That's always the thing. But
like,
I don't know. I mean, you could see CG top. Hey, I'd be totally okay with that. I'll be that one guy wearing my with my CG flag here at home and my CG T-shirt, and just like I have the stream open.
Like in a lot of Fall Fest, like CG or like didn't really top that much, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it did not.
So
I mean, it's just kind of like falling back. I mean, the first set was really good, but it only like lasted so long. Now it's just been kind of outclassed by the stuff that's been coming out. I mean, it's just how the game rolls. I mean, if he had CG too, I mean, obviously that could just completely
like you were saying,
take a whole nother level.
I think it's also because like CG is like kind of like a thought intensive deck too, because like
really
you might think like some of the cards might seem like free and like straightforward, but like you really have to be careful of like your Manami or like your Katsuki.
I mean, it just comes down to like knowing your compression and knowing your ratios.
Yeah.
You know
That's
exactly
fair.
what exact percentage you want in your hand and in your stock before you refresh. So that's just one of those things you have to look at. I
Yeah.
feel like AOT and SAO don't really need to worry about that much.
Yeah.
Maybe AOT
Well,
a little bit more than SAO, but I
Well,
feel like
yeah, half the stuff on
like
both
CG
sides.
is definitely on that level, of
Yeah.
just where you really always got to make sure you're thinking ahead of your opponent.
Yeah, like half the stuff on both sides for like AOT and SAO, both like you search directly for what you need half the time, whether that be off of brainstormers or climax combos or whatever, or events for AOT's case. I realize their climax combos get back the events, but like I have run Idolmaster a little bit, not as much as some other players, but it's the, like for Nita Minami, it's the look at the top up to the top 4 and grab what you want from there. Depending on what you get from that, you got to be really careful, and like you said, plan ahead. You got to plan ahead a lot more with that. So,
Yeah, and I mean, there's also the fact that like Aaron's a hard counter to almost anything that reverses.
this is true too. That's another big issue.
That's just another thing. I mean, I guess SAO is not that bad. I mean, I had a really close game between me and Beanley. I think it was it close? I don't know. I can't remember. But we've had good games with SAO and my CG. But like I played against AOT a couple times, and I've had a couple good games. But then there's just games where when they get the whole Aaron combo off, there's just nothing I can do.
Yeah.
I just kind of have to like bank off my Conoco Brainstormer doing the work, and at that point I'm just kind of playing cards down to do damage.
And also the thing with Minami, like with the compression thing, like like it's good to like try to run through your deck, but then also like if you want to do it again or whatever, or you feel like you can cancel, you have to consider like you might still have like a lot of climaxes left in your deck and you want to cancel as well when it's turn.
That's
This is
just
true too.
another thing. Yeah, that's why I feel like Zekking is obviously on another level, because you're obviously compressing 2 cards out of your deck compared to like randomly milling 4 cards, which could also like really screw you.
Yeah, it's less interaction required.
And thinking, me and Beanley both had a mirror of SAO today, and we both played the Kirito, and when they both died, he revealed 3 climaxes, and then on my turn, when mine died, I revealed 3 climaxes. Like, what is this bullshit?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I remember now. I was gonna say the world, since Worlds is probably gonna be like the highest level tourney, whatever. So like the rules are gonna be more like intensified or whatever. Whatever, like you can't fuck up or whatever.
True, because
it's kind of like to be expected though.
Well, that leads into another thing. Like, a lot of the times I know this for regionals and whatnot, if you don't agree with a judge's ruling, you can appeal to the head judge. As far as how often they would allow you to do that in Worlds, once again, like you stated, for time purposes and trying to get stuff done in an orderly manner, can be an issue with that. They may try to be like, I'm sorry, you can't... Do you think they'll try to bring that up? Like, I'm sorry, you can't appeal to the head judge, this is final type thing?
I know for, like... I don't know for Yu-Gi-Oh!, but I know for, like, Magic, like, for, like... I think for even, like, for their... big tourneys, whatever, they have like when it's like the pro players playing or whatever, they have like at least like 2 judges watching each game too, so it's not just like one judge that's watching.
Well, for Yu-Gi-Oh, it's not like that at all. I mean, you have obviously they do it on the feature matches because there's no like pro circuit for like Yu-Gi-Oh compared to Magic.
Yeah, like even ARG they didn't do that. So
ARG doesn't do that anyways.
No.
They obviously only do that for like obviously feature matches that are being streamed or like big feature matches on the big tables that are being recorded, because then they need to like make sure the game is being played, and even then I mean, I'm sure Yu-Gi-Oh player and you know the community well. You've seen how bad the judging program is for Yu-Gi-Oh.
I've never seen someone get 2 battle phases in a turn, but God bless America if it didn't happen on stream before. Fuck that shit.
And I feel
that was one of those funny
there's
things.
multiple judges watching my game rather than just like one judge, especially like with Weiss, because like technically we don't even have judges for Weiss.
That's just another thing that kind of like I don't know how I'd be able to do that myself, because I just hate the fact that people like I hate it. Like I don't mind one person watching, but when you have a group of people and I see you watching you play, that's another thing. I had never been able to cope with that, because even in Yu-Gi-Oh, when I'm like let's say I think it was recently I was playing in the last regionals we had here in Orlando. I was playing Trickstar and I was at table like 5, like late round 7. Like there was a stack of people and like, crap, this is weird. This is like too many people behind me, like just staring at my every move. And it's just that's another thing that happens to come up when you're playing in any sort of card game. And you're at that point in the tournament where everybody's just watching you.
And it's like you're just tired and you're like hungry.
You're tired. I was starving at that point. I was so hungry.
Because hell, you do more rounds for like Yu-Gi-Oh than I've seen for Weiss. They don't do nowhere near as many rounds for Yu-Gi-Oh. I can see, I've done 10 to 12 rounds before over the course of the entire day, and I'm fucking dead. So
that's Yu-Gi-Oh always murders me out on the end of the day.
As far as like the grouping around, as far as like people watching, I noticed that in Atlanta they sectioned it off as far as only letting the people play against each other, and no one really being able to gather around and watch.
Well, they've been doing that. I think this whole Springfest in general.
I think so. Which I preferred that for a lot of the top stuff, which is really cool. But at the same time, they only had like one judge.
They only had one or two judges max watching the tournament, and then it doesn't stop the fact that if you're let's say a table 1 or one of the end tables, people could still gather right there and watch you.
Oh, yeah.
That's absolutely not gonna stop them. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's just a player thing. I've never been able to really fully cope with it. So.
Yeah. Well, for Yu-Gi-Oh, it's all just Yu-Gi-Oh there. Like, Konami's not running anything else there. With Bushiroad, they're also trying to... I can understand they're also trying to maintain 3, different games at a time, as well as for Worlds, they're also going to be monitoring... they're gonna have their judges spread out. I don't know how many they're going to have. I hope they have enough.
For Dragonborn?
I do not know. I think they're going to... I don't think they're going to institute...
Early, right?
I think they're not going to institute a lot of stuff for Dragonborn until this Springfest. If I remember looking at the rules for that.
I just came up in my mind.
But then they're going to be separated between, for Weiss, JP and English. And I don't know if for Buddy Fight and Vanguard and whatnot, if they're going to do separate or if that's all mixed. If not, that means at least 4 different games as far as being split between. I'm counting it as 2 because of JP and English. Judges are going to spread out.
So competitive Yahtzee is actually a thing now?
What the fuck?
Whoa.
No, for Dragonborn, right?
Oh, that's right.
God.
Yeah.
I was like,
you're right. Yeah.
I was like, he's looking this up like competitive card game or competitive games and what competitive Yahtzee? What the?
You know what? It probably is a thing, and we don't even know about it.
I mean, but what he's saying,
competitive sleeping. I mean, if that can exist, then there's anything can exist.
Fair enough. But no, like you're saying for Dragonborn, God, I'm not even going to imagine that. No, oh God, well, do what you want. But
it's okay. If someone dislikes your video because of that comment, it'll be only 2 people that actually play that entire game.
I don't fucking care. At this point, I don't even fucking care. No, I get the joke as far as the whole Dragonborn is essentially the Yahtzee of, anyway.
Gone straight too far.
Yeah. Anyway. But that's fair. I say I'm hoping for this, but at the same time, with Bushiroad's track record of stuff, I really hope that this is going to go smoothly for you, Bentley. That it's going to go well for everybody there.
I just hope there's no problems. Obviously, I hope nobody gets screwed over on a ruling.
Yeah. Or
that anybody gets DQ'd because of some bullshit, let's say Mark Sleeves. I've seen people get DQ'd for Mark Sleeves, and it's not even their fault. Obviously they should be keeping track of it because this their sleeves. They should know this.
Yeah.
But it just happens. Your opponent could do it to your sleeves by accident, and you never realize it. And later rounds, you just get DQ'd because what should happen.
Yeah.
That's just one of those things. That sucks, but I hope it doesn't play out that way. I always hope that the tournaments always play out smoothly, and that the turnout is fine, and nothing goes wrong. So that way we can continue seeing support for the game.
The second I lose my first round, I'm just gonna go deuces and go explore Japan again.
Hey, dude, I hear you get some really good prices on hookers over there. You gotta let me know the prices over there.
It's in yen, though. You have to make sure you understand the exchange rate.
I know the transaction rate right now. I got it.
Oh, God. No, that happened to one of my buddies. Someone marked his cards. This was in an ARG thing for Yu-Gi-Oh! Someone marked his cards and got him DQ'd because of that. So I understand that.
I didn't get DQ'd, but I caught myself.
Oh, God.
But yeah, that's a thing that happens. I mean, this is a thing that happens in a lot of the bigger card games, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Vanguard, I've seen it happen, and Magic, it happens.
Absolutely. Magic, you have to inspect shit with a fucking magnifying glass.
It goes some sort of machine, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't personally do this, but I know it becomes a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh. So a lot of people do in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic. When you hand shuffle, you rifle, and you just play with your cards in your hand. Those adds up too with potentially marking up your cards as well.
Yeah. Outside of that, one of the other issues I had in Atlanta was there was another dude who literally ended up stalling out the semifinals and all that shit because it was from a different game. I think he was from Buddy Fight and was stalling it out because he would not stop fussing with the judges and whatnot and holding them up from being able to continue. and shit like that. So I'm hoping also like people from the other games don't end up fucking you over because of that type of shit. Because I
remember in Jacksonville they had a guy legit get disqualified because he ended up changing his deck like the round before, before going into like top 8. I was like, are you serious? Like, how do you do that? I was like, there's just something like
I don't get why someone would do that. Like, they're gonna deck check you anyways. Like,
yeah, that's something we can't control though. That's just like how stupid a person can be, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Funny story, and then we're probably gonna wrap this up in just a little bit. As far as changing a deck, you can't do this for Weiss because there's no side deck. But I had a buddy who would side deck enough cards to literally be able to change out the entire archetype in his Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
Oh yeah, I've done this before. Actually,
he went from Nurseburn to Cleforts in one go.
The week before regionals last time, I was playing Trickstars, so I ended up siding completely into because this was when we had like set rotation and stuff.
Yeah,
not like before, but it was like a couple weeks before we had like stuff
before
like that.
It got hit. Yeah.
So I completely switched into Spiral. So I was playing Spiral. It worked. It actually worked. But not anymore now.
You can do that because Yu-Gi has a side deck. Like, we don't have a side deck for Weiss, and I'm so fucking glad we don't.
That's something that should ever be introduced to Weiss.
Fuck no.
No, please. I don't think that's something that should ever be introduced, ever.
Nah.
That's something that doesn't fit this card game, I feel like, and it's something that would just cause too much of stress on newer players, I guess.
Agreed.
You could say.
That would just... It would take it to a whole new level that it does not need.
Once the card game starts exceeding to like points where like cards do some stupid effects, like let's say, imagine like having like a random ass reverse searcher, but like let's say it gave it a second effect, like let's say you discard a card from your opponent's hand or some bullshit like that. Once you get to like, I'm not saying that should ever be a thing, but like if it ever went to some level of that level standards, maybe then you should have cards like that, a side deck. But for now, I don't see any sort of point in anything like that.
Well, if nothing else, like the cards that do that, there was like a Persona card that had a discarding effect. Made your opponent discard. Had an effect for that. That's banned. Like I know that's banned. So they seem to do pretty decent as far as if shit like that gets abused. But either way, Bentley, I really, really hope that you give us like a play-by-play of what's going on if you have access to the interwebs over there. When you are at Worlds, like please try.
The thing is, like it's like 12 or 13 hours ahead. So
I will be up.
Yeah.
I will be up just to see you get the play-by-play from you. I know you'll be giving it us personally.
Ninja, I will be awake. What are you talking about? I'm gonna be woke all night.
I'll have that whole stream up in my room. Like, don't even worry about it. I'll be there to see it. Unless you don't top, then I'll be like, fuck everybody else in the tournament.
Yeah.
No. It's like, all right, Assassin's Creed time. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Exactly. That's what I want to do right after this.
But yeah, dude, best of luck to you going into that. Like, we are gonna be cheering you on, like straight up, because.
Yeah, I need to make Taylor proud. So.
If anybody need to make proud, is me. Come on, man.
Yeah.
No, I.
Been this 2-man community grind for like how long?
If Taylor watches these videos, I'm so sorry.
No. I don't think he's watched for like a couple of the podcasts. I don't know.
We'll tag him in this one. Make sure that he's.
Fuck yeah. He's going. When I upload this thing, I'm gonna send him a link directly to it. It's like
first minute of him like listening to this, he's gonna be like,
all right, that's it. Flag and dislike.
Well, if I do get one for that, I know exactly where it's from for that. With that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank y'all very much for listening. Subscribe if you want. If not, hey, thanks for listening to us rant about card games for almost an hour here. Check out Bentley's channel, Waifu Wars. Cheer him on in Worlds. And Enrique, forgive me, I do not remember if you have a YouTube channel or not.
I do not. I'm too lazy for that, so I kind of just bank off being the success.
Yeah, I feel bad because when I had Kevin on last, I forgot that he did have one. I was like, oh yeah, shit, Cypher Zero. Sorry, bro. So, okay, so I couldn't remember for you for that. So anyway, with that, we will sign off, and we'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace.
All right, niggas.